Hey, boo. Hey. So, if you're watching this, you are in the Patreon community. And first, I want to welcome you and say thank you for supporting us. And you must be in the diamond. So, with you being in the diamond status, one of the things I want to do is start to provide some more coaching. And so, for me, as you guys know, I'm Janine. I'm the host of Intentional Queen podcast, but I'm also a certified life coach on growth mindset and self love. So, I thought about it now that we're in October and it's 2022, some different things that I wanted to coach on. And so what came to me was I wanted to coach today on boundaries and triggers. Okay. And so that'll be what I'll be doing. And so, like I said, we're learning together and we're going to see if this kind of works out. And if not, I'm just going to pivot and do something different. But I feel like this is just a way for me to create that community for you guys and do it a little bit in a more smaller space. Okay. And give you little chunks, little tea to get you on without your day. So, this is our talk. Okay. And it's becoming comfortable being uncomfortable. But I also want to talk about the boundaries and triggers part. So, what is a boundary? A boundary is something that's for you. Boundaries are for you to protect you, to make sure that you are showing up for yourself. I feel sometimes as people pleasers, we have the tendency to do what other people want to do. And then when they don't do what we want them to do, we get resentful. So then we pull back. Now we're mad. And when you're mad, you're not creating good boundaries. So make sure you get in a space of understanding when a boundary needs to be in place. So your question is, Neen, how do I know a boundary needs to be in place? A boundary needs to be in place if it's making you feel like, I'm a little upset, I'm a little uncomfortable, or you got a lot of anxiety about it. Because if you have a lot of anxiety about something, then that's showing you that there is not a boundary there and that you should create that. Okay. And so, what is a trigger? A trigger is something that pisses you off. You mad now. Okay. It's something that you know is going to get you upset even before you get there. There's just certain things that people just know is a trigger off the jump. If that's you, I want you to journal that. I want you to journal what are your triggers. And the reason why I say that is because these are the places where you get anxious. So then it helps you have a boundary in those spaces so that you don't continue to allow them to be triggers for you. You can create a healthy boundary around it so you can continue to move. Okay. So that's that. Now let's talk about gates versus walls. Okay. So there's something that I believe is when we have been through so much, because it's still about boundaries and triggers, is that we build walls, which means I don't want nothing in and I don't want nothing out. I don't got time for you. I've been through too much. It's a wall there. And what happens is you can get to a place that you end up blocking your blessings or you block people who can help you because you just so mad. Or sometimes it's a wall this way, not a wall this way. It's a wall here. I'm winking at somebody who I know gonna watch this video. Wall was here. I had to like high jump over that wall to get there. And so what I'm saying to you here is sometimes you have to get to a point that you allow your wall to come down. Okay. Or I like to say create gates. And what a gatekeeper is, you allow what's for you in and you let out what's not for you. On the podcast right now, my whole month and pretty much the season of fall is let things fall off. Releasing people, releasing things that no longer serve you. So we all about that, which means it leads me into the boundaries and triggers and becoming comfortable with being uncomfortable. So choosing you. Okay. What does choosing you mean? Choosing you means I'm creating a space for me to protect me because that's why boundaries are for you. You've chosen yourself and not in a selfish way. I don't want you to be like, I'm not dealing with anybody. It's just getting to a place where you feel good within your spirit about how you're moving. Do things without expectations of others because people will have a tendency to have high expectations of people and then their feelings get hurt. Not everybody can live up to such high standards. So, really, all you can do is focus on what you can control. And that's why boundaries are for you, not for them. And be mindful, though, when you start doing your own boundaries, you will see who benefited from your lack of or your decrease of boundaries because they're going to be pissed with you now. And that does not mean that that's a time for you to stop having boundaries. That's a time for you to continue to enforce it because now you get to have discernment about who was benefiting and how does it make you feel on the inside, knowing that finally you chose yourself. That's a word. And so lanes. So I grew up in that space where it's like, that's your lane, that's my lane. And so sometimes you feel like people be overstepping your boundaries, stepping into your lane. That's their business. They should stay over there and mind their own business, but they coming over in your business. Well, that's when a boundary needs to be made. Okay. You have to create these boundaries because when you do that, that allows people to know what you're going to tolerate and what you're not. And so once you know what you're going to tolerate, which is knowing your triggers and creating boundaries there, then when the boundaries come and people come to try to hit your gate, you like, nah, you gotta be on the outside, or you be like, you know, they respect my boundaries. I'm okay with dealing with them in this space. So that's choosing yourself and knowing the lanes, okay? And let them get mad. Ooh, oh, so I remember doing an Instagram post, and it talks about when people talk behind you because they're behind you. And so sometimes I feel like we want to run back and tell people about themselves because they have now offended you, and that's why it's a trigger. But really, what you have to realize is them being mad with you is on their issue, and so they'll have to deal with that. That is not for you to coddle. That's not for you to do anything. That's why I always talk about backpack, which comes from Dora the Explorer. Let them carry their own weight, because that's another thing that people do when they have lack of boundaries is they carry each other's weight and you become codependent. We done with that. Let people carry their own weight unless you have to or you choose to. But remember, it's like being on the airplane. You cannot survive, you don't put your own oxygen mask on before you put on somebody else's. Okay? And be careful of gaslighting. Okay? What is gaslighting? I say it's when they throw kerosene on you and they they pump you up and they know what's going to trigger you. It's like where they say throwing stones at glass houses, and you like, hold up, player. Are you throwing stones over here when your house is not right? So just be mindful of, like I said, people will become mad. And it's enforcing what makes you feel good and get to a space of comfort of knowing that it's okay to be uncomfortable when you're first starting out. I also coach on, and I'm gonna shout out one of my clients right here, and it's, I tell you, think about what's going to happen before it happened. And I'll give her example here, which is she had a party or a friend that was having a birthday, and there's some things she didn't want to do. And so before the birthday came, we came up with a whole narrative of what we're going to say and how we're going to move. Okay. So I'm trying to now just give you guys quick tips and things that can get you through your day. So hopefully you enjoy this video. And if you want me to continue to do more videos within our Patreon, let me know in the comments. And I see you on the podcast. Remember, that comes out the second every 2 weeks on a Thursday, but we're going to see it the following Thursday. And that's it, guys. See you later. Bye bye.